could stick you guys like here. Stick you guys like right there-ish. Alright. Just go to like into real quick. Yeah, look at that. A little over-the-shoulder action going on over here. All right. Yeah. So next call. Go ahead and where to address. Good enough for my taste, to be honest with you. Yeah, welcome to another standby stream. Back in the hot seat, taking phone calls out on the streets of Orlando. Currently pulled over in the middle of the highway.
+1-407-254.
Orange County Field Services, this is Phil.
Hey, it's Macy in dispatch.
Yes, ma'am.
So for that shut off, due to the code 3, you can disregard. They just called back and said they were able to get it off, or get it turned off.
10-4.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, there goes that. So I guess I don't have to drive out there, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, so we're out here taking standby calls. We just got done with one. I thought we were going to go start another one, which is why I kind of got you guys where you are, over the shoulder, ready to go. But turns out that they canceled that. We're going to go ahead and get back up and rolling. Back up onto the 408, back up the speed. We're gonna head home at this point. I mean, there's really no sense in staying here where we are anymore. Might as well go home. I thought that we were gonna end up having more calls, but I guess not. So, for those of you who do not know, my day job, night job, I guess if you want to call it that right now, is field specialists. Utilities. Right now I'm taking emergency standby, aka if there's a problem and customers want to call in, they call in and let us know what's going on. We try to resolve it over the phone. Originally, sometimes some things can't be resolved over the phone and we have to respond accordingly. This is one of those times where I responded accordingly. I was coming back from the call and I got a call for another call. I went to go respond to that one. Got the GPS queued up for that address and everything. And as you heard from dispatch over the phone, that call inevitably got canceled. So we're no longer be going to that call. That just means I get to go home to my family for a little bit. You never know when a call might come in when we're on emergency standby. We are running 24/7. That's At some point, I do kind of want to invest in an official live streaming setup specifically for scenarios like this. I would really like to have a front-facing, back-facing camera. Obviously, though, that requires a whole like streaming setup and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's not exactly like the easiest of things to do. So for right now, actually, I know you guys are kind of moving back and forth. I apologize. It's probably better than the bumpy cam that you're used to. But you're actually inside of a tool holder that I have cut and placed in the back window, hanging from the hooks that you usually hang shirts on. That's kind of why it's swaying back and forth as it kind of moves. Probably still better than shaky cam being connected to the actual truck itself. I am probably going to research a gyroscopic phone holder. I would really like that to be able to get one for you guys that you can ride along in the street where it's not shaky cam the entire time. You know, obviously it's super annoying, but yeah. So I thought this was going to be a little bit more of an eventful stream, considering I thought I had a second call that we were going to. Turns out I don't, which means I'm not going to just back out now. I mean, shit, you guys already are here. You're already here along for the ride, so might as well continue on until I get home. Everything is said and done. A little bit of information about the call that we just got off of. A little bit of conversation to get you back to, well, get me back to my home. We just got called out to a no water call. No water call is very basic layman's terms for the resident, customer, consumer, whoever you want to call them, is not getting any water to the inside of the house usually. It could also be outside of the home, but it's usually inside of the home is the concern. This is due to a myriad of different reasons. There are multiple shutoff valves in and outside of the house to facilitate isolation of water when pipes break, need to be repaired, etc. There's usually here in our neck of the woods, our standards and specifications and construction manual calls for 2 shutoff valves at minimum to be on the outside of the home. There's going to be at the very least 1 inside of what we call the meter box, which goes out to the curb here in my neck of the woods. If you're from the north, chances are your water meter is in your basement where it does not freeze. Also here in my neck of the woods, there is what we call a house valve. That house valve is located on the service line that feeds the home itself. If you're from Florida, you probably recognize it as the piece of pipe that comes up out of the ground and comes into the home. There's usually a shutoff valve located on that piece of pipe itself. It is just a very quick and easy place for the homeowner to come out and grab a hold of to close in the event that there needs to be work done inside of the home, something breaks, something needs to be repaired, you might be remodeling, you might be doing a couple different things, and that might be why you need to turn off the water. So that particular home that I just came from, it was a house valve that was closed. House valves can be closed for, just like before, a myriad of different reasons. Generally, the utility does not touch your house valve. If a utility touches something that is not theirs, they are now liable for it. General policies and procedures for my municipality, we don't touch house valves. House valves are a huge no-no. If I just so happen to break a house valve, it might not even be maliciously, it might just be an old house valve that just needed to be turned a little bit for it to break. We now have to float the bill to fix that. So obviously, the business world, you don't want to float all the bills. You want to minimize how many bills you float. So policies and procedures, we do not touch house valves. So this lady's house valve was unfortunately closed. It's not exactly the hardest of things to fix. You just turn the house valve back on and you get water back inside the home. I just can't touch it, so I have to unfortunately request that the customer turn it on, and sometimes they can be stiff, they can be a little hard to turn, and it's not the easiest of tasks to be performed by a customer. Unfortunately, there are people in the world who are unable to do this, and the best advice that I can give them is that I can't do it, and they are going to have to figure out a way for it to get turned back on. Fortunately for this event, it was a very loose house valve, very easy to turn. She turned it just a little bit, and she restored water back inside of her own home. On her own volition, she had a sink already running inside the house. She had full pressure. She was happy. It took me no longer than 2 minutes to diagnose the issue, and then another 8 minutes to just kind of address her and be able to get her to come out and turn on the house valve itself. She had to move a couple things out of the way. She had a mop bucket out there where she was very clearly, mopping earlier in the day. Water was clearly working. I'm not entirely too sure why the actual house valve itself was off. It's possible that someone just turned it off accidentally. It's possible an irrigation company was coming through and saw a leak on an irrigation line, so they turned it off, trying to save the customer water bill. There could be kids in the neighborhood who are trying to prank her and turn their water off. These are all different things that I have run into before out in the field. I don't know which one it actually was. I don't know if it was any of those, but just general things that could lead to a house valve being closed. To be honest, she could have closed it herself and then just forgotten about it. It is it is unfortunately a costly mistake if you do forget about it. It does cost you money if we come out and the issue was detected on your side. There is a flat trip charge fee. So the call that I just did will cost the customer $51, unfortunately, for something that she was able to fix herself without having to call a plumber or anything like that. So I got the call at 7:04. I didn't leave the home until 7:34. I didn't get there until 8. So she waited just about an hour for something that she could have fixed herself. So the biggest lesson that I would like for you, the viewer, to take away is that home ownership is a fantastic thing. Owning a home is awesome. It is an asset that you can sell and liquidate at any point in time. However, you should probably know how to, you should know where the water shutoff valves are. Home is inside and outside. You should understand what material is made of. You should know if you have an irrigation or domestic meter or both. You should know if your irrigation water is fed by reclaim or not. There is a difference between reclaimed water and potable water. You drink one, you do not drink the other. Reclaimed water, you do not drink. Potable water, you do drink. It's not exactly the easiest of things to remember, but when you need to know, it's very handy in regards to where the piping is underground. If there is a leak, you should know the agreement that you have with your utility and if you will be fixing it or not. The municipality that I work for, we fix the service line running from the water main meter box. We service the meter box, the fittings inside of the and the fittings touching the meter box. That includes the PVC female that is on the backside of the box that touches the customer's house line. However, past that point, we no longer service anything else. It becomes the homeowner's responsibility, which is a really fancy way of me telling you, sometimes when I get out there, you should understand, know, and respect that I will be unable to fix whatever problem you have if it is something that I don't service. Sauce channel, thanks man, appreciate it. I'm trying to, part of the reason I work so much as I do now, if you're still here and you care to know, I've been trying really hard to build up money to buy a new computer of some sort. I would really like to get into 3D modeling. I did for a little bit on some of the my other laptop, not my work laptop that I'm currently using. And it was going pretty okay. I started with something super basic, just a very simple Mac 10, Mac 11. It's very, boxy, squarish submachine gun. It is something that I wanted to go with trying to 3D model. So I tried my hand at it a little bit. I was not using the greatest of things in the world in terms of 3D program for it. I got most of the way through it. I can definitely see the benefits and the drawbacks of going with 3D modeling. It is far quicker to 3D model guns because I don't have to individually place like pieces here and there, right? So if I was doing, let's just say, the SCAR H, which is a really long rectangle for the upper receiver with a couple bevels in it, and then a skinnier rectangle on top of it, and then a whole bunch of beveled rectangles for a rail system, and then finer details here and there. It would honestly not take a lot of time to be able to build the upper receiver of a SCAR, HL, Mark 20 SSR, HAMR. That would not take too long. The thing that would take the longest would be going back through and adding those more minute details, and even then, I don't think that's something that would take, the craziest amount of time. I definitely do want to get like more into doing that type of stuff. Like I would love to start that. So we're gonna go ahead and start this work order at the time of which dispatch sent it to me, which was at 7:05. More work log, new house valve. House valve was closed. Customer turned on. House valve. Restored water. Left. I'm gonna press OK. Push back. We're then gonna press complete. Yes, OK. We'll take it as this is a no water, which is down here. The cause code is the customer information system, CIS. Nope, never mind. It's house valve closed. Customer problem. Or we just say we open house valve. Press yes, press OK. So that one's done. And then this call here will start the work. And more work log. New. Customer canceled. Okay. Press back. Complete. Yes, yes. What was this? This was a stop service. Stop service. Stop service. Stop service. Emergency turnoff. Customer information system. There's the CIS. Complete. Back. Yes. Okay. Upload.